What is up, everybody?
Welcome back to the Mile Higher podcast and the last one of 2019. Although you might be listening to this in 2020.
Maybe.
Isn't that wild? Gosh, we're like right on the brink of a new decade here.
We are.
It's insane.
Knocking on 2020's door.
Yes, we are. And today we're here to do, you know what's crazy? This is the third time that we are doing this.
Entering year number 3.
Yes, we do our annual breakthroughs and discoveries of the past year episode. We've done 2017, 2018, and 2019, this one now.
Yeah. Which is a lot of fun because it's sometimes I like think back to previous episodes and like, what were those breakthroughs and discoveries? And then think about where we're at now. And you kind of seen a trend of different things when it comes to technology, especially because things change so much. But it's really
developing
cool
really fast.
So yeah, we have a lot of interesting topics in store for today's episode. But before we get into this week's news stories, I'd like to thank our lone sponsor today, Calm, for being there all year for us. Yes. Calm is a great app. Definitely check it out. And along with checking out the Calm app, I definitely recommend you check out Hemp Bombs if you haven't already. They make some of the best CBD products on the market.
Bring that calm with you into 2020. You know,
definitely.
That chill.
Definitely.
CBD is the best.
CBD can definitely help you with that for sure.
So check that out at hempbombs.com and you can use the code MILEHIGHER for 20% off your purchase. But now let's go ahead and get into our news topics for this week.
Yeah, so the first story revolves around YouTube.
Yes.
YouTube's been kind of a crazy place lately.
It really has. And I'm glad we're going to talk about this because I haven't had a chance to really address this whole thing.
Yeah. So the story is actually about cryptocurrency focused channels on YouTube, actually. Because earlier this week, YouTube just deleted hundreds of videos from several dozen channels. So YouTube actually restored these deleted videos. They said it was a mistake and that the system essentially flagged them as harmful or dangerous content and sale of regulated goods. And this is something we're starting to see across all different genres on the platform, including Kendall with one of her videos got slapped with a harmful or dangerous content and a community strike. So they literally took the video down, removed it from YouTube. They just delete it.
Right.
And what's most frustrating about it is they don't tell you why exactly.
No.
They just refer you back to the community guidelines.
It was my Jamie Kloss video that was removed. So that was, and it was about the follow-up. I made a video when she first went missing, and then I made a video again once she was found.
Right.
And so there was definitely not anything. I kept it really pretty, I guess, clean, you could say, for true crime. Like it's not, it's not an ideal situation by any means, but
nothing that displays harmful or dangerous.
No, and I kept I barely talked about anything because there's barely any information out is what I'm trying to say. Like I basically just said she was found and kind of went over a few things. Like I don't understand how this was the one to be removed. I've covered far worse on my channel, much more graphic things. I was really surprised. So when I got this alert that it was taken down completely, that's the first time that's ever happened to me. And I thought this must be a mistake.
Right.
So we appealed it. But then I got an email saying that it was confirmed and it actually was taken down. It was not a mistake. So I don't understand really why that video. And it makes me really concerned, especially when it says you could next time, if this happens again, you could get a strike. Like that's not good as a creator. If you get 3, your channel's deleted.
They permanently delete it from YouTube. Yeah.
So if I get one more, then I lose live streaming or something. Or
your first strike, you lose upload access for a week.
It's just it's super stressful, and it makes me feel like I've done something wrong, like I'm being punished, or it creates an anxiety and a whole nother stress around YouTube and uploading to my channel and what can I do and what can't I do and where is this all going? It's just super bizarre. It seems like they're really over censoring.
Well, and it just makes you question their whole system altogether and their algorithms. And what I just wish there was more transparency with it.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, I have yet to get a reason.
Yeah, and the fact that they won't tell you exactly what it is about your video. That's what's crazy. Is they're we took your video down. It's been completely deleted. You can watch it. You can't even download your video from YouTube after they've done this too. Right. Which is so annoying. We have
had experience with a video being removed. We had a podcast that was removed from YouTube. It's still on our Spotify and our iTunes, but you won't find our Maura Murray episode on YouTube anymore because it was actually removed.
Yeah.
And we can't figure out why. I mean, Josh was drinking a light beer or something during
Which
it.
you couldn't even see it really.
No,
Like, it's not
and
like
we
I was
thought maybe
displaying.
that was why.
But it's not,
There's no
though.
way that was it.
Because there's tons of YouTube channels that are drinking it on it and
Look at
everything
Nelk.
in there.
Yeah,
And,
I mean, that's one of the top channels right now is the Nelk Boys, and they drink a ton on there. And
How
their
is that?
videos
I'm
are
like,
on there, so
they haven't gotten 3 strikes yet?
that's
Like,
not
doesn't make
that's
any
not
sense.
why. So we don't know why. So we never figured out why that one was removed. So we're probably going to redo that episode eventually.
Maybe it's a family complaint, but then again, why?
Maybe. I feel like that would
Doesn't
be
make
dealt
sense.
with differently, or we would be contacted if that's how they're dealing with. If
Somebody-
it's really a family complaint, I hope they're dealing with it better than just telling you have harmful, dangerous content, and not telling you I'm just removing it.
Yeah, I wonder if it could be people reporting the video too, for some reason. I don't know.
It could be.
Like enough people reported it.
But I don't see why there's no way that's the video that gets reported on my channel, the Jamie Kloss
That's
found.
true. Yeah.
That makes no sense. Like that's the one to upset people and they'd report it. I've never had issues with anyone reporting my stuff, and my content's pretty well received. I don't
know.
remember getting any negativity about that video. It was pretty like I said, I remember it being pretty brief. There was barely any information out at the time. I haven't even been able to watch it because it's been removed.
Well, you can go through and watch it, but
Oh, right.
you go through it and you're like, what the hell? Like you just have no
Well,
clue.
we watched the beginning. It doesn't make any sense.
Like at least give us a timestamp of what part caused the community guideline warning. Like what the hell?
weird.
It's very worrisome because YouTube used to be such a platform where you could come on there and really speak your mind and execute your rights on it. And now it just seems like it's becoming such a censored place and
It's
in
concerning
all
for the
aspects of
community.
it too. And just if it's doesn't fall right into their little categories, then you're at risk for channel deletion.
And I think it matters to more than just YouTubers that this is happening.
Yeah.
Like it's the largest platform. No one comes even close
Yeah, so-
to a video platform. No one competes with YouTube. There's no like actual competition for them. There's other platforms, but they don't even come close.
With the sheer amount of content on it, it's
like
unreal.
So many people use this. Do you want to be censored? Do you
Well, it's
want to like
Google.
be filtered? Like, what are you, a baby? We are not allowed to have. It's like parental controls. It's just weird.
It makes no sense.
It's like saying you can't have R-rated movies.
Right.
We have R-rated movies and it's clearly marked not for kids.
Right.
Just like how you would mark
Right.
that something like that. That is obviously not for kids. But that doesn't mean that there are not ads running on R-rated movies.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, there's a whole true crime channel on TV. It's just totally out of touch to be like, it's not. I mean, taking ads is one thing. Completely removing it and almost punishing the creator is a whole different thing.
Yeah.
And for that to be confirmed made me really concerned about the future on YouTube.
And about their processes. Like,
Yeah, what the hell are they doing?
Is the appeal just like some robot that's doing it, or AI, or something like that, or is it an actual human that's reviewing the actual reason for the appeal and then going and investigating further to double check and make sure it wasn't a mistake? Because it clearly was a mistake.
Yeah.
And we've got no
I can't
help
talk
from
to
YouTube.
anyone.
It's crazy.
Even my agency has tried to reach out to like contacts at YouTube and try to talk to someone, and we can't get a hold of anyone
No
that
one
can
will
talk to us about this.
Yeah.
No, like
know.
it's crazy that how many subscribers do I have? 1.5, 1.6 million.
Yeah.
How do I not have a contact at YouTube that can like help me in these situations? I have no one to talk to. Like they're my employer. It's just absurd. They need to get their shit together.
Yeah, there should
especially when it comes to true crime, because that is growing so much. I mean, true crime is absolutely growing at a huge rate. I just saw an MTV shows launching. They're launching a new, like with Neve from Catfish. They're making a true crime show.
And they're going to have advertisers
Yeah.
on that and everything. It's not an issue.
I mean, get with the times. It's just stupid, especially on a video about a girl being found. It was an amazing story. She saved herself. I don't know why that was removed. I truly cannot figure it out.
Well, at least you're not alone in the issues affecting all creators on the platform, including like the ones I mentioned, the cryptocurrency channels. And that's the other thing too, sale of regulated goods. They're going to start cracking down on anything that can be is technically a regulated good. You can't
What about CBD?
Yeah, I think that could end up being an issue at some point, but right now I don't think it's. I think it's just
Crazy.
depending on how you approach it too. I think if
Yeah.
you're trying to sell a regulated good through your channel, then that's one thing,
Right.
versus just kind of loosely
Mentioning
talking
it.
about it, like on
Or
an-
like working with
an
them.
affiliate type basis, like we do. But if
Versus
you're
like
like
using your channel as a complete sales platform. Yeah.
or you're like testing out all the products on your
Mm-hmm.
channel, things like that, I think could end up being an issue with this new update to the community guidelines. I don't know. They got to figure it out because this is just insane.
It is.
But let's get into the next story. This comes right out of Colorado, actually. Of course, there's been lots of things happening with Colorado, I feel like. But this is very bizarre. This is a new phenomenon. There's large non-government drones flying in mysterious grid patterns across a couple rural counties in Colorado.
This is the trippiest thing.
It's very, very bizarre. So there's these 4 counties that are on the border of Nebraska, northeastern Colorado, and they've been getting reports from the locals saying that between the hours of about 6 to 10 p.m., there's just all these drones coming out of seemingly nowhere and flying in patterns where they're kind of going in a square, like almost like they're going
organized.
Yeah. Grid, square by square of the land and taking photographs or something. But then other people have said they've literally just saw like a group of drones hovering over their town for a couple hours, just sitting there in the air. And what's crazy about this is you immediately think, okay, well, this has just got to be like some hobby drone pilots that are doing stuff.
There's got to be a lot of them.
But yeah, they're seeing 6 to 10 drones. Somebody even set up the 30, like almost like a swarm of drones.
Yeah, it literally looks like a flock of birds.
And they're big. They don't look like little hobby drones like what I have, like the little digi.
That looks like the one you had before.
Yeah. So they're much larger, and some of even as big as 6 feet across, like much bigger than your typical consumer drone.
Well, if you're not familiar with drones, and I'm not a drone expert at all, but they do have shows now, like drone light shows and performances. Like in Vegas, we saw that Casey Musgraves one was pretty cool, where they arrange them to music and they can all light up different colors and like work together in the sky. And sometimes they'll have like 100 of them together and they're forming pictures, and it's kind of like a firework display almost. Yeah. So you can program them all to work together and to create, to like kind of be a swarm. Yeah. And somehow link them all up. I mean, it's pretty interesting technology. Right. So it's not like it's a bunch of different people operating each individual drone. They're probably all working together in a network.
Maybe, but maybe not. I mean,
I'm just saying probably. But why is it here?
Well, yeah. I mean,
it'd be one thing if you saw this in like New York or something, or somewhere with a lot of people, you'd think maybe someone's trying to just entertain people, or they're just doing a fun thing. But like, why in the middle of nowhere near Nebraska?
Yeah, and it's not like they have like they're shining bright lights or anything like that. No. You only see, so like drones only have little navigation lights on them.
Yeah.
That aren't
unless you put lights on them.
Yeah, unless you actually, yeah, exactly.
Which is what they do in the light shows.
Yeah. Well, those are not even like remotely the same thing as what we're talking about as far as like drones go. Like those are specialized light show drones.
Right. But they work together is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They have programmed them to all communicate.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, as far as I know, I don't know of any drones that have like cameras and would be doing what these are doing all in unison like that. It's really bizarre. And they're way larger than the drones that Kendall's talking about. Mm-hmm. But the craziest thing about it is the locals have obviously been asking the authorities, the police, like, what's going on? Do you guys know what's going on with these drones? We're seeing them every night. And it's been going on for a while across multiple areas
every night
of the state. And the authorities have no clue. They've literally gone to the Army, the Air Force, the FAA, and the DEA. So all federal law enforcement, they went to the military, and all of them have denied that these are their drones, and they have no clue what they are.
So odd.
So that kind of leaves you like, what's going on? Mm-hmm. I mean, if I was a person living there, I would be a little uneasy. I mean,
yeah, every night.
Nothing's happened. Like nobody's gotten hurt or anything like that. Right. But it'd be a little weird to look up every night and just see a bunch of drones flying around. And you have no clue what they're doing.
Well, you just want to know why. What's the point?
Mm-hmm. And that's where, conspiracies run wild, because people are like, well, what's going on here?
Well, what is going on here? It's got to be something weird.
One person said the cartel perhaps is using drones in this area, but then again, why would they be flying? Why?
Why a big group of them? Maybe if they were using a drone, they'd just use like one drone or two drones. Like, why do they need a fleet of drones in this one weird area in Colorado? I mean, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
I feel like one drone can capture plenty. Like, and they're all so close together.
And flying in a grid pattern, like square by square.
Yeah. What's the point of making shapes?
And that's where people are like, well, it could just be like some sort of private company that's doing aerial mapping, which is possible. But then again, why are they aerial mapping at night? Most of the times they aerial map during the day, I think.
And wouldn't they tell people?
Yeah,
like
why
if
wouldn't you
it's
tell?
causing a stir, you'd probably be like, oh, that's just us guys. Like, especially if the police are involved. The police have been trying to figure this out. No one can figure it out.
You would think this private company would just
They'd
call
come
up the
forward.
news station and be like, hey, this is us. No need to be alarmed. We're just capturing images for Google Earth or something.
I'm surprised they haven't gotten one yet, like shot one down or something.
Well, I think they're flying pretty high. It's not like they're at a low place where you can really see them really well.
Okay.
They're up high so you can barely see their lights. They're up there.
So what's the point? It's
Yeah,
dark. What
yeah.
are they capturing?
Right. That's just what's so weird about it, and why people are starting to freak a little bit is because it just doesn't
What
make any
is
sense.
this? Yeah.
And that's where I think it could be some sort of government agency, even there could be some secret shit. Maybe there could be some type of, let's just say, case or project that they're working on that is classified that they can't talk about. So they have to deny their existence, but they're using them to look for something, or they're doing something that, I don't know, they need that type of footage, I guess. I don't know. Maybe there's we don't know what equipment's on them. We don't even know what drones they are.
Many. I feel like, okay, that kind of makes sense, but it kind of
Well,
doesn't.
yeah, wouldn't you only need one to do like some reconnaissance
Right.
or something? Why do you need 30 or something?
Block of them.
It's really weird.
How different could their angles be that they're capturing? I mean, they're all so close together. They've got to have a pretty similar shot.
I have no clue. Like one person said that they were flying in pairs, like 3 or 4 pairs. So like 2 flying together, and like, that's just so weird. And if these are just typical drones, to fly together manually would be extremely hard, if not almost impossible, like from the ground. That's what's so weird about it, is what is it and what kind of drones are they? What would be fucking crazy is if it's some foreign country
That's what I was thinking.
that's spying and we just have no clue. But then again, you're like,
Why would they be spying
They
in
would know.
eastern Colorado? Who
Yeah.
cares?
Yeah.
well, maybe
That
there's
too.
stuff hidden out
But
there.
if you're going to spy at all, like you're going to spy with a flock of 30 drones,
And you've
like
already
how
been spotted,
obvious
so-
to use one drone.
And
Yeah.
it says they're reported to have 6-foot wingspans. Is that right? That's how big these drones are?
not
Oh
all,
my
not
gosh,
all of them
they're that
necessarily,
big?
but some are pretty big. Yeah.
That's insane.
It's weird. Well, I wonder if any of you guys live over there and can tell us if you've seen it.
Or you live somewhere else and you've experienced this phenomenon
Seemed
before.
just like a flock of lights like that.
Yeah, it's really wild.
Really weird.
But we'll keep you updated on that one. This next story comes out of Colorado as well, and this is just kind of I don't even know. So this guy decided that he was going to rob a bank, which he robbed a bank in Colorado Springs, the Academy Bank, just before 12:30 p.m. on Monday, and claimed to have a weapon in his pocket and took cash.
Oh boy.
And we don't really know what happened next, but according to a witness, they said that he came out of the bank and then proceeded to start throwing the money he had just gotten all over the place, like taking out his bag and throwing it out saying, "Merry Christmas." And he could be a Santa. He could be a Santa.
Blueface over the holidays.
Oh, in LA? Yeah.
Mhm. Standing on his car, throwing money out to people.
But robbing a bank and then proceeding to
He's having
walk
his
out and
Oprah
just
moment.
throw it out.
He wanted to share.
Yeah.
He's like Robin Hood.
Yeah, kind of.
Well, it didn't work out so well for him because he got arrested.
Well, then he just casually, after he threw the money out of the bag, he just casually walked down the street to a Starbucks, sat down until the police came and arrested him. Like, that's such an odd bank robbery, isn't it?
Maybe he just wanted to go to jail.
I just don't know.
He
why.
wants 30 days in.
He's going to get a lot more than 30 days
I
in.
was going to say a lot more. How
That's
much
gonna be
time do you think
more
he'll
like-
get?
Oh, I bet he'll get a few years,
Wow.
for that.
That's not worth it. Why would you do
depending
that?
on his record and stuff.
Oh, what if you're like just not in your right mindset at all and you do something crazy like that? Like you hear of people who have these like episodes where they're just like they don't know what's going on. They can't figure out reality. I mean, you must be to do something like that. It's clearly not well thought through.
No, it's not rational.
But then
at
he
all.
robbed a bank. I mean, that takes some planning. You can't just
Yeah.
Right.
within 20 minutes be like, I'm going to go rob a bank.
That's
Like,
true. I don't know. How weird. I wonder if it was always his plan to throw the money or if he just was like, you know what? Who needs money? And just threw
maybe
it
he
out.
thought he'd be like, Maybe the police will be like, "Oh, what a nice Christmas story."
Yeah.
Let's make a book out of it.
Maybe he thought I'd get like the reverse reaction and he'd be like a hero in the local
Right.
news or something.
He's kind of got the Santa look going too.
Doesn't he? Yeah. He's got the Snow White beard.
Very nice.
His name is he's 65 years old. And he's named David Oliver. David Oliver.
Claus.
That's going to be a good story for prison though, if you think about it. Like,
or a bad
what are
story.
you-
People are
what
gonna
are
be
you in
like,
here
how
for?
dumb are you? Why'd you do
like
that,
seriously,
man?
dude. Literally. Thought that was entertaining though.
That is.
But the last thing I got is actually really insane and horrific, and that's the fires in Australia. I dug into this a little bit this week because I really wanted to try to figure out what was going on there. And when you start looking at just the sheer magnitude and number of fires that are all burning at once in Australia, it's honestly kind of crazy. They have a fire map that you can look at, and pretty much the entire border of the country is just in flames right now.
In flames right now.
In flames right
now. So most of the fires are right along in Sydney and around the border area of the country, and that's where most of the people live. So that's really concerning because like the inner part of Australia doesn't have a ton of people living there.
Right.
So it's just crazy how many there are.
There's an insane number of fires. But what's most alarming is that a new report came out from the Sydney Times, and ecologists from the University of Sydney estimate that roughly 480 million mammals, birds, and reptiles have been killed either directly or indirectly from these fires.
That's so just upsetting.
500 million creatures. That's crazy if you think about it. That's so many.
And think about how many people are out there trying to save animals and trying to just, salvage what they can. But it's just so out of control.
It is. It really is. And that number includes 8,000 koalas that were burnt to death along the mid-north coast of the state.
It's terrible.
Just, 200 miles north of Sydney. Like I feel like every week I see a new video of like these poor koalas like running from the fires.
Well, they're slow.
And this week
they're not made to run from these fires.
No, they're not. They're not meant to move quickly by any means.
Sloths too.
You see the video that kind of went viral this week of the koala kind of coming up to the person on the bike.
No.
And they're like giving them water and stuff. Because they're dying because they're dehydrated. It's hot. They can't find water or food, and it's honestly just heartbreaking to hear about these poor animals that this is just having such a effect on them. And again, this is from prolonged drought, and obviously climate change plays a factor in this as well.
Huge
and
factor.
it just kind of feeds these fires because it's so dry, and it's just unlimited gasoline for them.
This is why we have to take what's going on in our environment more seriously
Yeah,
as a whole.
Absolutely.
And I think with massive things like this, it's going to take extremes to get more people to understand the, severity of the issue.
Absolutely. And it's not humans that are paying for climate change right now. It's the animals. The animals are going to pay first because it's their
So
habitats
messed
that
up.
are being burnt to the ground, and a lot of them are not getting out alive, and whole species could go extinct. Like the koala could go extinct, which is just crazy to think about. Australia with no koalas, like what is that?
I feel like in our lifetime, so many animals are going to go extinct. We're just going to see it get worse and worse.
Probably. I mean, at the rate we're going, there's so many species that their numbers are just dwindling. They're not going to be able to come back, especially with the climate going the way it is,
Because if this becomes like a yearly thing where every year there's these massive fires and they're having to relocate and all of their land is getting burned, it's just like, what's going to be left?
Yeah.
Not much.
Yeah, it's really concerning. And I mean, we saw huge fires in the Amazon over the summer, and it's just, I think people, even here in, the U.S., we've had crazy fires in California. And I mean, the fires have just been out of control and really freaky.
Yeah. And
Just the sheer amount of them, how big they're getting, how fast they spread.
And just, it's disappointing to see the government not doing more to help. Like a lot of people in Australia are upset with the prime minister because it seems like he's not taking this as seriously as he should.
On vacation.
Yeah. And just not allocating the resources needed to the firefighters and making sure that they get everything they need and people are getting paid. it's kind of crazy because I think the system works a little bit differently in Australia as far as
Yeah.
the emergency services go. They have a lot of volunteers and things like that, much like we do. But yeah, it's becoming a really, really scary situation. And for those of you in Australia that are dealing with this,
Yeah, we know we have a lot of Australian listeners.
Stay safe and best
Yeah.
of luck to you, and just
Yeah.
do whatever you need to do to get
I
out of the
never know
way.
what to say at the end of these topics because it's just like it sucks. The
It does.
situation
It
is just
does.
terrible, and you feel like what am I going to do about it? It's so hard. It's so overwhelming to think about. Oh, look how many fires there are. Oh my gosh, all of Australia here. It's just
It's like an alarm
crazy.
going off.
Yeah.
Is what I look at it when I see the video and I see like an inferno.
It's like the planet sounding its
Yeah,
alarm.
it's like
I
time
know.
to start taking things a little bit seriouser.
I know.
Like,
I feel like it's like the least we can do is like talk about it. It's the best thing
yeah,
to to
that's what
keep
I
it in
think is.
conversations, talk about it with your coworkers, like be aware of it.
And I think it's important to be aware of other things in the world too. I hate that most of the news media doesn't cover other story. Like they're not covering
worst.
this.
No.
And here in the U.S., they're not talking about the fires in the U.S.
They're covering
or
the
Australia all that
24-hour
much.
bullshit politics that we have.
Yeah.
That's all that apparently is the news. When you turn on the news now, it's like you can't get anything else.
It seems
Doesn't
like
matter
it.
what's happening in the rest of the world. It's so irritating. So most people don't even know that this is going on in this country.
Which is exactly why I want to talk about it, because people need to know the reality of climate change and things happening on this planet. But let's go ahead and get into our breakthroughs and discoveries for 2019. But before we do, we'd like to thank Calm for being our sponsor today. The beginning of the new year is an opportunity to create new habits to be our happiest, healthiest selves. And if you want to sleep better and feel less stressed out, you need Calm. It's the easiest way to improve your mental and physical health and start your 2020 off right. In case you didn't know, Calm is the #1 app for sleep, relaxation, and meditation. Calm has sleep stories, which are like bedtime stories for adults. I absolutely love these. They can help you fall into a deep, natural sleep in minutes. And stories are narrated by iconic voices like LeVar Burton, Nick Offerman, and Matthew McConaughey. They also have soothing music from artists like Sam Smith, guided meditations, breathing exercises, and so much more to keep you relaxed and de-stressed. And if you go to calm.com/milehigher, you'll get a limited time offer of 40% off a Calm premium subscription, which includes hundreds of hours of programming. Over 60 million people use Calm. Join them today so you can accomplish your goals tomorrow. For listeners of the show, Calm is offering a special limited time promotion of 40% off a Calm premium subscription at calm.com/milehigher. That's 40% off unlimited access to Calm's entire library, and new content is added every week. Get started today at calm.com/milehigher. That's calm.com/milehigher.
All right, so let's talk about the biggest breakthroughs of 2019. Some of them are not huge breakthroughs, but they're interesting breakthroughs, such as this first one, which is about cats.
Yeah, we learned that cats can recognize their names but can choose to ignore them.
Yeah, well, we know that as cat owners. We have 3, so you didn't need to tell me that because I definitely knew that they know their names and that they can ignore them too.
True. But apparently there's been a behavioral scientist named Asuko Sato who started working on the study in 2013 and finally published a paper in the Scientific Reports on May 3rd, 2019, showing that domestic cats can differentiate their names from other words.
Yeah, they definitely can. I mean, just as much as like a dog. Animals are so much smarter than people give them credit for. I feel
They
like
really
the
are.
scientific community is always like a step behind. Like the rest of us, if you have pets, you probably know this, you know?
Yeah.
Our pets are really smart and intuitive, and animals definitely have the capacity of memorizing names and like understanding.
Well, what they
situations.
do is they would take, the name of the cat, and then they would say a bunch of different names that sound like the name for the actual name for the cat, but then
Like try to trick
to
it.
see if they would respond to it.
Which we kind of do that too. We always like rhyme things with our pets' names.
But what they found is that they can differentiate between what their actual name is versus a similar sounding name.
Yeah. Cats are really smart too. I mean, there's a reason the Egyptians praised them.
Yeah. And mummified them and everything like that. There's a reason.
It's a big part of their culture.
I think they're probably a lot more intelligent than we even know.
Yeah.
I feel like they have way more figured out than we even realize.
They're like, yeah, LOL, I can do a lot more than just know my name.
Yeah, they're like,
I've got a lot more going on up here.
I bet they do.
Plotting your death.
I bet they do. Plotting your death. I don't think ours are plotting our death.
Nah, I'm just kidding.
But
if either one of them are, or any of the three, it's Lily.
Yeah. Oh, Lily would kill Josh, but not me. No, she loves him now too.
She does.
Yeah, she does.
So the way that this researcher actually conducted the study was that they got 78 cats from multiple Japanese households and a cat cafe. And at first they had the cat owners repeatedly say 4 words similar to the individual cats' names to habituate the felines to the sounds. And once the cats were familiarized with the words, the researchers performed 4 different experiments to test the reactions. And the results showed that cats were not only able to discriminate between their names and similar sounding words, but also differentiate between their names and the names of other cats, even if strangers were saying them, except for the cats who just didn't act interested at all. You know, there's always those cats that don't play along with what you want to do at all.
They're not going to entertain you.
You know, like you're saying words to me and too bad. I don't care. So cool study, I guess. I mean, I don't know.
I'm sure all animals have a different level of intelligence, just like humans. I mean, not all humans are the same when it comes to their intelligence.
Right,
so I'm
totally.
sure animals, it's like the same kind of thing. There's
Different
smarter
levels.
cats than others.
And there's dumber cats. Thought that breakthrough was kind of funny.
Yeah, I like that one.
But the other thing that happened at the very beginning of 2019, which was a really huge breakthrough, was that China landed a probe on the far side or dark side of the moon on January 3rd. And that was a huge deal because we hadn't previously really seen what the other side looked like.
But it wasn't quite as exciting as we thought it was going to be on the other side of the moon.
No.
There was a lot of conspiracy theories and stuff. I mean, they barely saw any of it, though. They did only see some. So we don't fully know.
Right.
And it's still like a government agency telling you. So plenty, you can argue like...
There could be
hiding
lots
things.
of stuff going on over
Maybe
there.
We didn't see everything they captured, but...
Right.
It's definitely interesting.
But according to them, it's going to make it easier to explore space because they won't have all of the interference from all of the signals and radio waves on the other side between the Earth and the moon. So it's kind of a clearer place to gather information about space, and could be a great landing point at some point if we were to ever colonize on the moon. That's been something that's been talked about as well. Like, we'd probably build a base on the far side of the moon so that we could then take off from that into the rest of the solar system and beyond. Be a good place to put it.
Yeah,
probably.
launching point where you can like go further because you can only go so far, you know? Yeah.
Which would be kind of cool.
Yeah, that would.
The next breakthrough was pig brains were partially revived by scientists at Yale. And this is kind of interesting.
This is a weird.
A team of neuroscientists from the Yale University School of Medicine have demonstrated that it is possible to revive a pig's brain hours after death. This new system that they created is called BrainX, and it's restored a number of basic functions to over 30 dead brains, such as the ability to absorb sugars and oxygen. So there's these 2 pictures, and on the left shows what a dead brain looks like. And then the right shows the partially reactivated brain.
Right. And this is not like bringing them back to life by any means. This is activating parts of their brain again. Does that necessarily mean they're like alive? Does it have consciousness again?
Right,
Did it bring it back to life? No.
But this is like the first step in trying to achieve that, if that's even possible. And it's interesting that scientists are actually working on this and trying to figure out a way to revive life itself. And the first way to do that is you got to get the brain activity going again. So the fact that they've got basic functionality being restored to the brain is actually really astounding. And
how much further can they take it?
Exactly. And yeah, they were able to revive the cells and slow down the process of deterioration after death. And obviously they're still dead, but I mean, how would you even know if consciousness even re-entered the brain of a pig?
Or if it's even possible. You could bring the brain back. Maybe you can restore all the functions of the brain, but if consciousness is left, can it be restored? Does consciousness live within the brain? Can it be reactivated, or is it
that's
from
what we
another
talked about in
source?
our
Right. If you missed our
episode.
consciousness episode, you missed out. But
It's the biggest question for sure. Does
That's really
consciousness leave the body, A, after you die, and B, where does it reside?
or
And
could you just like start it back up again?
like if you were able to completely reanimate the brain after it's dead, would that mean that consciousness could
person would
also
just be-
return? Wouldn't that be crazy though? Like if you were able to bring somebody dead back as well as restore the consciousness
Well, that would
to
just
it.
have us questioning everything.
That would defy
because-
everything. Yeah.
Yeah. Then what is a soul? Does your soul actually leave your body? Is it part of you?
That'd
or
be
is
wild.
it, are you just the host? That's interesting.
But it
you'll have to
also-
let us know your opinions on that.
It's also creepy though to think about if we were able to get to the point where we could revive a dead being, that when we did it, there would be no consciousness. So what would that being actually be like?
Right.
Like a zombie?
Is
or
that
would
what
it
a
be
zombie
like?
is? Yeah.
Exactly. And it's kind of what they did with these pigs. They kind of created zombie pigs in a sense.
That's kind of crazy.
Because there's a zombie. Does
Yeah.
a zombie have consciousness?
But it's not like it's walking around and eating again.
Right,
and
right. They
functioning.
didn't restore all those
They're
functions.
just seeing brain activity. It's interesting though.
But it's a huge first step in this direction of reviving things. And like we talked about a few weeks ago, they did suspended animation in a human before, being able to keep them from completely dying and bring
Yeah.
them back to life in a sense. So we're getting there.
Yeah.
So
it makes you wonder where we're going to be when we're doing 2050 breakthroughs and discoveries.
Yeah,
This
seriously.
podcast is still going.
Oh my God.
Can you
That
imagine
would
like
be-
30 years down the road, we're like doing this every year.
That would be really fun. I hope we are.
I think it's kind of fun. I mean, every year is going to be different about how much breakthroughs and discoveries there were. I feel like there was more in like 2017 was a good one.
Yeah. I feel like next year is going to have way more too.
Yeah.
With it being like the
2019
turn of
was
the
kinda
decade.
Like,
Yeah, it was kind of a
just, I don't know.
sleepy year in a sense.
It really kind of was in a lot of ways. I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of arguments against that, but
So our next breakthrough comes in May 2019 when American explorer by the name Victor Vescovo broke the record for the deepest dive into the ocean. He went down nearly 36,000 feet into the Pacific Ocean's Mariana Trench. That's scary, man. That's almost as scary as going to space if you think about
so
it.
no one else has gone that
Deep.
I can't imagine the pressure in your ears. It's making my ears hurt just thinking about it because I really can't go lower than like 10 feet.
Yeah, that's
Or
crazy,
it
man.
starts hurting.
Well, don't their submarines control the pressure? It's like an airplane.
Yeah, but your ears still have to
yeah.
adjust to it. Yeah.
Sure, I feel that.
I feel like you still feel it to some extent. There's a reason that they don't go deeper.
I wonder how long it took him to get down there. Probably hours.
Yeah, it does
Yeah.
take. It takes a while because you got to
Yeah.
just
It's slow.
You can't go too fast.
Yeah, the
You'll
pressure
blow up.
change. Right. Yeah. For some reason, the idea of pressure change under the ocean just like really freaks me out.
Oh, it freaks me out.
The idea of pressure and like being really deep. Like I feel like I'd have claustrophobia being in a submarine deep underwater. I'd feel like panicked. It
Well,
almost
you-
makes me feel like I'm out of breath even thinking about it.
Yeah. It's probably way worse than being in an airplane because it's such a small, confined space. Like, can you imagine barely being able to turn around in something smaller than your car? 36,000 feet under the ocean
And for a long time.
in the
pitch
dark.
black.
In the
Yeah.
dark, dude.
Yeah.
That's so freaky.
What do you think would be more challenging on your body and mind? Going to space or going underneath the ocean? To
I think
really deep
space is almost easier to comprehend because it's space and like I don't know. I think the idea of like flying and going up is less scary than being trapped and confined in a tube 36,000 feet under the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
To me, at least.
can
I don't
see
know.
that.
Maybe the opposite for other people. Like flying doesn't freak me out as much nearly as the idea of even like scuba diving kind of freaks me out. Like
Yeah,
being
you do get scared.
I get scared under the water because you kind of like I don't like that feeling of losing control of your surroundings.
Yeah.
and
I
you
mean, who does?
and you really do when you go
Oh, yeah.
deep under the water.
Mhm.
You're at the liberty of whatever's there, and it's kind of weird. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I get that too. But going into space sounds insane to me. I just really can't fathom that.
I think for
I could
me,
almost fathom going underwater more
right
for
right.
me personally.
But the idea of being able to, with no gravity is cool to me.
Yeah.
Like being able to feel what it's like to be weightless and float around what seems like a worthwhile trip into space.
Yeah.
Versus like being just trapped in a submarine.
No, I get that too.
With a flashlight at the bottom of the ocean.
What would you do?
I don't know, because if I was in space, at least you could, well, theoretically, if you're in the space station, see the Earth still. So I feel like it would give me some comfort. But if you're that far down, you're not seeing anything. I would almost lose the whole idea of I'm still on Earth. And like you said, it almost feels like you're leaving Earth in a way.
Yeah.
Versus going to space, obviously you're leaving Earth. But I don't know, something about being able to still see Earth would bring me more comfort than being, I don't know, just that picture just freaks me out. It does not look like a good time.
I know, it looks so dark.
It's such a small little submarine too.
I know.
You could almost be swallowed up by some larger creature down there.
Right. Yeah.
Like a whale could easily take that down, like not that they would,
or if there's
but
a megalodon.
Because I think
munch.
Yeah.
Your submarine is gone.
Well, we don't even know what creatures of the deep are down there. I mean, we know there's giant squid pretty far down there. So one of those guys could just grab onto your submarine and that's it. You're done.
I know. Those things freak me out.
Wrap their huge arms around you. And
I mean, there's some stuff down there that is crazy scary looking.
You know what's scary is they found a plastic bag down there at the bottom of the Marianas Trench.
Yeah, I remember we
and
covered
candy
that.
wrappers.
Yeah, that's just, oh my gosh, dude. We are such a disgrace to this planet. That's insane. That's so deep.
Yeah.
How did it travel so far? And it's so lightweight. It's not like it's like a rock.
Right.
It's a wrapper. It's like, how does that
Plastic,
get so
man.
down?
Mm-hmm.
But it makes sense of over time that stuff is going to end up there. So imagine in 10 years from now, there's probably going to be a lot more in the Marianas Trench and all over.
Yeah.
I mean, it's building up, it's sinking down.
And how disappointing as this explorer to think I'm exploring new lands under the ocean, deep in the
making this great thing.
deepest trenches of the earth. And look what I find. I find a freaking Walmart grocery bag at the bottom.
Oh my gosh,
Trash.
I hate us. I hate humanity.
That's terrible, honestly.
Oh, that's
I mean,
so
you go
sad.
out in
It's
space
embarrassing.
and you hope that you don't hit space junk and
But there
But
you
you
go.
will.
get derailed.
Oh, we're covered in trash. The whole planet's
polluting
surrounded.
our whole,
Surrounded with trash.
such messy.
We can barely even
creatures.
launch anything out of our freaking atmosphere right now because we have so much trash. We are trash. That's the moral
Humans
of the story.
are trash. We're trash, literally.
It's so bad. I mean, we got it. Oh, geez, we have so far to go, and it's like so hard because it's got to change on like on the corporate level.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Walmart's gonna need to
and
make
the government's
change.
got to get involved. I mean, it's got to be huge, sweeping changes from the top.
Oh,
for especially your average consumer to do anything.
that's so insane.
But what's cool is there is some hope when it comes to this plastic. A lot of people have been working really hard on trying to find alternatives for single-use plastics. And one person is Lucy Hughes, who's a product design student at the University of Sussex, created a compostable compound that could replace single-use plastics in products such as bakery bags, sandwich packs, and tissue boxes.
It kind of looks like saran wrap or something, but like thicker, kind of like.
Yeah, it's really cool. She calls it Marinatex, and it's because it's made with the byproducts, and it's because its main ingredient is byproducts of the fishing industry, which is really cool.
So like, what does that mean? Like made out of fish?
So like excess from, when they're bringing up shrimp and crustaceans and things like that, and algae from fish skin. So literally the byproduct of fishing,
Like hard material.
she figured out how to take these things and produce this product. It's actually really
our
cool. It's like
waste.
skin. When she put them all together, she was able to make this skin like film that's really flexible yet pliable and strong. And she won a huge award for this, and she plans to continue to try to improve it and then create a business plan for mass distribution. So, and it's completely compostable. It will it breaks down fairly easy. So
That's kind of interesting because it's technically not vegan then, but it's like good for the environment. So do you think vegans will want to use it?
well, I don't know. Well,
Because it's still like making good of waste. But I guess if you're a vegan, I don't know. Let us know if you.
yeah,
have
if you're a
an opinion
vegan,
on
what do you
that.
think about a
Using something like
plastic
that.
alternative made from byproduct of fishing?
Yeah, it's kind of like worlds clashing here. It's interesting.
But it's also doing good and saving the planet, which I
Right.
think is a huge message that vegans are trying to send out as well. Like,
Right. That's what I'm saying. It's like,
I
That's a
think
good point.
I think they'd be on board with it because
I think some would, some wouldn't, you know?
it's a good idea though, for sure. I think this is going to be the next big thing is whoever can figure out a way to eliminate all plastics.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's great to see stuff like this. And the more that we have concern and the more people raise awareness about climate change and, you know, the issues that we're having with our planet, we're going to have more of our innovative thinkers out there creating things like this and taking something that's a problem. The fishing industry is incredibly wasteful and we fish so much. And to take the excess parts that we can't use and repurpose them, I think is great.
Yeah.
And we're probably going to see more like this.
Absolutely. Yeah. Kudos to her, man. That's such a good idea.
I think we'll see more things like that over time.
Definitely. Most definitely. One of the coolest things that happened this year, I think, was when scientists generated the first image of a black hole, which you can't actually see the black hole, but from the image, the dark part inside of the lighted ring is the shadow from it. But to be able to acknowledge their existence altogether, because before it's been kind of this theoretical idea, we didn't actually know whether or not they really existed or not. And now we have a confirmed image of a black hole with a diameter of 23.6 million miles.
Wow, that's how big that is?
Yes.
So it's really hard for me to understand this picture.
Well, yeah, because it looks like just a little
So you're
donut.
saying in the middle is the shadow?
The shadow from it. You can't actually see a black hole because it's a black hole.
It's the darkest thing in the world.
Right.
So what is all the light around the actual shadow part in the center?
It's a fiery disk of gas. It's gas around it.
Oh, okay. That's why it's kind of like foggy looking.
Right,
and foamy.
exactly. Yeah.
So is it actually that bright in space? Or
No,
is
this
it
is the image. Yeah.
Okay, the image
It's
is
the
generated
computer
by NASA.
generating the colors and everything like that. So it's probably not actually what it looks like in real life, if that makes sense. It's what the computer was able to generate. But the fact that we have a picture at all confirming the existence of a supermassive black hole is insane.
Yeah.
Especially, it's 55 million light years from our planet. The fact that they're able to even gather the data to put this together is
So
really
far.
amazing, and how far we've come.
Yeah, I really can't even wrap my mind around how they possibly make this.
Yeah.
Form this
It
picture.
took so much data and hard drives
Yeah, so many people
to
working
put
on
this together. It's actually really incredible that they were able to do this at all.
Yeah, this was probably the coolest thing that happened this year.
It was in the Messier 87 galaxy, which we also found out that we have a supermassive black hole in the center of the Milky Way of our galaxy, which is interesting when you think about, could it be that in every galaxy across the universe, there's a supermassive black hole?
And it's
Black holes, yeah.
like a way of traveling around.
No, not necessarily. Like, that's more of like what a wormhole would be.
Right.
Wormhole being you go in and there's an out, an exit from the other side. Obviously there could be, but nothing escapes a black hole as far as we know. So
Well, we don't actually know. A lot of people think that that's
Well,
how you
light doesn't
enter other
escape it.
universes is through a black hole. I mean, who knows?
yeah,
No
it's
one
true.
has any idea if
We
you can
don't
even
know.
survive it.
We don't know. That's true. But I think there's a lot more to black holes than
Yeah.
any of us realize right now.
Well, if there's one in every universe, there's probably a reason.
Yeah. Well, it's like they end up eating everything around it, eventually gets sucked into it. And then it's there and eventually they die. Black holes. It's really crazy. Yeah.
It's really weird to think about.
hmm
So everything that goes, but we don't know if everything that goes in it actually does die. I mean, it could
Well,
be
it sees it.
transported somewhere, right?
Maybe. I mean, I don't know what's on the other side of a black hole.
Yeah.
Another universe?
That's what I'm saying. Maybe. That's a theory that's out there.
Mhm.
It's interesting to think about.
But it's cool that by doing this and generating this image, they were able to confirm Einstein's general theory of relativity, and really he was like dead right about how this shit
Yes.
works. It's really crazy and cool to see that we're now finally being able to prove Einstein's theories and stuff, which is truly amazing.
Yeah, I'm sure
Breakthrough.
he'd like to see that, but
This next one's cool. Google has been working on a quantum computer, which, do you know what a quantum computer is?
No.
So like our laptops and typical computers, there's quantum computers, there's supercomputers, and then there's classical computers, meaning like our machines are classical computers.
Yeah.
And then there's supercomputers, which are much, much larger versions of a classical, like a regular computer that take up like whole rooms. But then there's quantum computers, which is like the next step and is far, 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 far faster than any other type of computer on this planet. And Google's been working on one, and they finally announced back in October that they created the greatest quantum computer of all time, beating out other companies' quantum computers like IBM and Intel and other countries that are working on quantum computers.
Oh.
Because quantum computers, they use a totally different type of programming. Like they don't rely on ones and zeros like a typical computer does. They use these other type of bits in order to read and write information to them. And they do it at such a fast speed that they're able to solve things far, far faster than anything else can. And what they were actually able to do was their quantum computer was able to take a problem or like a code, like for example, this is a really hard it's a really hard concept to understand because it is so technologically advanced, but they were able to take let's say a problem. So a coded problem that's like a code, you got to figure out how to decipher the code, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they gave their quantum computer a coded problem in order to try to figure it out and try to solve it. Well, a typical supercomputer would take 10,000 years working on this problem in order to figure out the answer to it or decode it, for example. This is just an example.
That's what they've generated. They think it would take.
No, this is what they know for sure would take based on simulations and things like that. That would take 10,000 years for a supercomputer with its capabilities to solve or decode this message or problem.
So this thing is like beyond smart.
This thing did it in 2 minutes.
What?
Or it was like
much
200
smarter than a
seconds, so a couple
supercomputer?
minutes. Yeah.
Whoa.
A quantum computer. And when you look at a picture of this thing, it looks like a brain or something, like this giant brain looking thing. And they have to keep it in like a cryo chamber. It has to be really, really, really cold because the amount of heat that this computer generates is insane.
How smart do the people who work on this thing have to be?
Oh, I know.
Like
super computer nerds.
Yeah. Wow.
This is the most complex computer processing chips on the planet. I mean, what's crazy is that these things are going to be operating like a brain. They already are, but far greater than anything else that we know of. And to imagine this being behind AI is really, really cool to some extent, because it's like, okay, if we have a quantum computer, what is it going to be able to figure out? It's going to be able to figure out any type of coded message or any type of, encryption, things like that. It's going to be able to break all of that stuff really easily and figure out, paired with AI, it's going to be able to figure out lots of problems and solve things for us way faster than it would typically take.
Yeah, I mean, way faster than if it's so much faster than a supercomputer. I mean, imagine how much smarter it is than us. I mean, maybe it can really help us with a lot of our issues that we have and problems that we have. But yeah, at the same time, it's like, do we want that powering? Yeah, that's like, oh wow.
If the computer is all of a sudden
smarter than us
and can outsmart our every move that we do,
that's what scares me.
And that's what scares people about these quantum computers and Google, for that matter, is that they're working on this. And what happens if this technology falls into the wrong hands and some type of malicious organization gets a hold of it, and they use quantum computer to say crack our power grid or crack something like that and cause massive havoc and disaster. It's kind of crazy. But technologies, exactly. Technologies are just continuing to barrel forward at this crazy pace, and quantum computing is where it's headed for sure.
All right, this next one is pretty crazy, and I bet a lot of you didn't even know that this happened, and it happened back in July of this year.
our planet had a near miss with a large asteroid.
Mm-hmm. That's so freaky.
So this asteroid was known as the 2019 OK.
Why is it called the OK? Nothing about it is okay.
It's okay because it missed us. But apparently it escaped the gaze of even NASA's planetary defense system until just 24 hours before it flew by the Earth.
Well, that makes me feel good.
Yeah, they've got a really good
Great
system
job,
over there.
NASA. That's crazy. You would think it would be way more time.
It was 5 times closer than the moon.
Oh my gosh.
426 feet wide.
But they didn't even end up telling anyone, really, like making a big deal about it.
No, because they know it's going to cause panic. Like people are going to freak out if they think the asteroid's going to hit us.
Yeah, and especially if it was a false alarm like that.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Oh, guys, there's an asteroid headed towards Earth in 24 hours." Yeah, what do you even do to prepare for that? Good luck preparing for that.
I guess.
But yeah, it would just like wreak havoc. Like, what's the point of even telling everyone and distressing? If that's going to happen, it's going to happen. That's wild, man.
Yeah. So if we were hit by a 426 feet wide asteroid, it would have packed a punch equivalent to 30 atomic bombs. Think about that.
That's just insane. God, that was the day we like moved into our house or the day after. We had like no idea that was happening.
No. I don't think anybody knew about that.
Heard about
Even
it
NASA didn't know about it till 24 hours prior.
Yeah. That's so
By that
insane.
time, like, what can you do? It's not like you can, send
Shoot
something
it.
up real quick. And yeah, exactly. Like they're still trying to figure out solutions to that problem. Because this ain't going to be the last time an asteroid comes near the Earth for sure. There was also something created called DNA 2.0. So what a team of researchers is, they created synthetic DNA with 8 letters instead of the usual 4, which it's supersized DNA essentially, so it can hold a lot more information. It's crazy that they're able to make synthetic DNA.
Yeah, I didn't even know that was possible.
Called Hachimoji.
Hachimoji.
Mm-hmm. The coolest thing that they were able to do with the synthetic DNA was encode all of Wikipedia into it.
The entire database of Wikipedia.
Synthetic DNA. So this is not real DNA. It's synthetic.
Right.
It's something they created, but its
So
capacity to hold information is far greater than our human DNA is.
So if you take that DNA, that synthetic DNA, and create a human out of it, is it going to be far more powerful and smarter than us?
Yes, because it's able to hold more information. The genes there'll be more packed into them.
We just keep creating things that are going to outsmart us and outperform us and possibly ruin us.
Yeah, maybe this is the segue to cloning or something. Maybe this synthetic DNA will come in handy when we start cloning humans or something.
Yeah, I guess so.
That's I don't know.
Wild to wrap your mind around. But what if you mix regular DNA with the synthetic DNA? Do you have like a half human, half synthetic hybrid? Is that a cyborg?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they're quite to that point yet, but
I can't imagine what's going to be in the breakthroughs and discoveries of 2030.
Yeah. Well, when the singularity comes, it's
so much.
It's going to be a different world for sure.
It will. I mean, things are changing fast. Think about how your technology that you use on a daily basis has changed in the last 10 years. I mean, wow. What were you using 10 years ago? I was using, I think, a Palm Centro or something. 10 years ago?
Yeah. In 2010. Yeah. I had a Razor.
I didn't have an iPhone.
Wait, maybe
I had something else, but I don't even know what it was called.
Oh, I had like a brick.
I had like a sliding bricky
thing.
With
a
keyboard.
Yep. What was it called?
The QWERTY keyboard. The little, there was a bunch of different brands. Like LG had one. Yeah, there was a bunch.
Yeah, I mean, things have changed so much. Just how we have,
over the decade,
Yeah, I mean, 10 years ago, if you tried to explain Alexa and Siri to someone, they'd be like so confused. Like, it's a thing. I remember when they first introduced Siri, I was so confused, but I was like, you want me to refer to this as a being? It's like a person. It's a like intelligent thing. I don't know. It was such a strange concept. I mean, things have changed so much just in the last 5 years.
It's only going to get crazier.
Technology is going so fast.
It is.
And there's so many more jobs in it and people working on this stuff. I mean, wow.
It's only going to get more and more advanced.
Yeah. I did not know synthetic DNA was a thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just crazy.
Doubling the capacity. It's pretty amazing stuff.
So that kind of wraps up our 2019 breakthroughs and discoveries.
Yeah, guys, I hate to say this, but when researching this
Yeah.
episode in comparison to past years, there really wasn't that much like
that you guys would be interested in.
interesting stuff as far as like really groundbreaking, discoveries or some sort of breakthrough that's going to like change something dramatically. There just really wasn't.
There wasn't too much
that
going
much.
on this year.
No.
I think next year is going to be a lot.
And I think so much was just focused on like the political climate and all these other things and just the climate in general that was going on. I mean, a lot of things we talked about kept going back to the climate and all of that. And that was just kind of the trend, I feel like, this year. It was just such a weird year, in my opinion. I don't know. It just felt different from past years.
The energy felt weird this year. I wonder if anyone else feels like that, because Janelle and I always talk about how we felt like it was just off.
Yeah,
sometimes
this year was a fail.
I have kind of a mental thing that like even years are better energy and odd years are weird energy.
Yeah,
I don't know
I
if
could
anyone
agree
else
with that.
agrees, but that's how my life's always been.
Yeah.
You agree with that?
I would agree with that, actually.
Yeah, I agree with that. I hated 2017. 2018 was pretty lit. 2019 was
Yeah.
So hopefully 2020 will be another great year.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. I'm really excited to start
Hopefully we
a new
can get,
year
like,
and a new decade.
I mean, I'm just waiting for like, when are aliens going to be
I know. That's like the
disclosed to
announcement,
us?
right?
Like, I've been waiting for that for so long. Like,
Yeah.
something good. Come on.
Maybe, yeah. Or maybe just like some more disclosure. Like there wasn't any major alien news this year. Like in years past, we've been able to talk about UFO footage being leaked and other things. There wasn't that much when it came to that. That was, really credible and made big news.
Nothing new, really. Nothing new really happened UFO wise, it seems like, on a major scale this year. So yeah, hopefully 2020 brings some more excitement to our lives. I mean,
I think it will. I have a good feeling about it.
Yeah, I do too. I think it'll be better for us personally. Hopefully be better for you personally.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's 2019 for you.
Wrapped up.
Whoa. But thanks again for joining us for this episode of Mile High Podcast. Hopefully you had a great holiday season and enjoy New Year's and celebrate the coming of 2020.
Yes.
But
and we wish you luck and prosperity
Yes.
and everything you've ever dreamed of in 2020 and
Yes.
in the next decade.
with that being said, we will end it here. See you guys in 2020 and stay safe.
And stay woke.